Dear students, you walked into my classroom expecting this to be easy. What a fool you were to think that this ball of creative energy would allow you to sleep in the back of my classroom through my lesson on a hero's journey. How could you sleep when Bilbo Baggins is just now leaving the Shire? How could you sleep when I am in full Gandalf the White costume, literally screaming at you, "You shall not pass"? Don't think I don't hear you before the bell rings. I know how you feel about the math teacher down the hall, how he would never show up in costume, how he doesn't even recognize Pi Day. How do you not recognize Pi Day? Every 26 seconds, another high school student is dropping out, and you can't take the time once a year to recognize pi in a math lesson. Students, I hear you saying that you don't understand a thing and you couldn't be more bored. Allow me to assure you, boredom is not an option in my classroom. You are far too bright to have a single dull moment. I have seen what you can do when you put your young minds to work. I have listened to your discussions. I have watched you recognize symbols greater than Moby Dick himself, marveled at the genius that spews from your tongues when you just focus. I know this can be difficult. Remember, I sat behind those desks once too. I know the tick of the clock all too well. I walked your halls, memorized the landscapes outside of daydream windows, all in a glazed boredom. But then again, I did not have Miss M to intrigue me, even if just for a handful of the 2 million minutes in high school. Students, I know that some days, life is tricky. I know how it feels to be labeled as a percentage. Trust me, I have seen mine. AP scores, graduation rates, government grants, almost as if it's a magic trick. The system is a magician pulling numbers out of a hat, flashing them towards you and saying, "Is this your statistic?" 19% in poverty, 18% dealing with depression, 21.9% affected by anxiety. It is no wonder you are channeling Lady Macbeth. It is no wonder the stress weighs you down. No wonder you spend the nights pacing the floors of your homes. But I will not allow you to hide behind or be crushed by the stress of these statistics. Not in my classroom. You are far more than what any paper tells me to do to individualize your education. You are more than your safety plan, more than your GPA. Don't get me wrong. You'll leave this year knowing far more about Odysseus than you ever thought possible. But what Common Core tells me I must teach you is only the beginning of what I want you to learn from me. If nothing else, I want you to leave here knowing the most about yourself and your own journey. You have been defined for far too long by the obstacles you will face in this labyrinth of life. I want to see you define yourself by your destinations. I want to teach you that when you find your great perhaps, you will withstand any amount of stress, stay up countless nights just to accomplish your goals. You see, Odysseus' journey was not an easy one, and yours won't be either, but when you find the thing you are so determined to reach, it becomes worth it. And remember, you are not alone. Some nights I go home afraid too. Some days I feel the weight of the world, but you and I, my friend, we are not alone. This class, this family, we have a home here. Even the lost boys found refuge with Peter Pan, and no one said you had to be fearless. I am here for you when it is too much. I am listening ears. I have been told I give the best hugs. I have a supply of pixie dust in my cabinet if you need it, and one day we will embody Galileo, find the second star to the right, stay straight on till morning, because my work does not end when the bell rings. My work is only ever finished when each and every one of you finds your Neverland. Something that I need you to understand is that I understand. I have felt the sting of cold winters on the years that the electric was out. I have seen the effects of alcohol without ever tasting a drop, and I know that there are 6.6 million of you out there who know exactly what I am talking about. There have been times that I related far too much to Harry Potter on his bad days, beneath the staircase. All I ever needed was somebody to show me that there was a magical world just waiting for me. To show me that I had more to me than just my Dementors. To make me realize that I had a job to do, Horcruxes to find, but mentors as brilliant as Albus Dumbledore only come along once or twice in a lifetime. Now, take a moment. Imagine me behind your desk. Before the bell rings, after math class, I couldn't be more bored. I walked into Mr. Holland's classroom expecting it to be easy. What a fool I was to believe that a teacher, a mentor, as inspiring, so full of passion, would allow me to sleep in a haze of boredom when he had a hero's journey to teach. I didn't realize it that day, but I understand now. Mr. Holland was never actually telling me about Bilbo Baggins. He was telling me about myself. He was showing me that I, too, had a hero's journey to fulfill, that there was a whole magical world waiting for me. Students, I want you to know that there is a magical world waiting for you, too. It is not a smooth path to get there. The stress of your life is marching towards you. It is scary. How do you decide between another 4 years or taking steps to pursue a passion or serving your country with strong men and women when you are just a child yourself? It may be an uphill trek. It is not without forks, but when you meet a diverged road, I will be beside you. We will choose the one less traveled because we know that despite the undergrowth, it will make all the difference. Looking back now, I cannot recall all of the lessons Mr. Holland taught me from the curriculum. I cannot remember the vocabulary he assigned each week or the discussions we had. What I can remember is that he told me once, the words we use are important. How we say things, it impacts people. And I have lived by that. I know that when you leave me, you will not always remember the novels I assigned. You might not recall the poems we've analyzed, but I hope that years from now, you look back and your memory does not fail you when it comes to one of my favorite quotes. Ray Bradbury proclaimed that living at risk is jumping off the cliff and building your wings on the way down. My dearest students, you may tire during the free fall. I'm aware that constructing your own wings can be challenging when you already hold so much on your shoulders. I am sorry I cannot carry those burdens and stresses with me. I am sorry I cannot wave a magic wand and bring your father back. Get your mother a full-time job. Turn the electric back on, but what I can do is dare you to make the jump. I can make our space a safe haven that Herzberg himself would envy. Fill every single day with excitement, never a dull moment. I can inspire you. I believe that every growing mind that plants themselves in my classroom has the potential to be something beautiful. I can listen. I can encourage. I can remind you to breathe when your lungs feel like the Roman Empire at its worst. I can take you in. You're tired, you're poor, you're huddled masses yearning to breathe free. I can light your path with a torch burning with passion and knowledge. Students, this will not be easy. Not this class and probably not this life, but it will be worth it. You are worth it. Love, your future teacher.